Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the greatest video game series to ever grace this sorry excuse for a website. Today, we, the presidents of the greatest country on Earth, will be playing a Pokemon Emerald ROM hack made by yours truly.
Honestly, Donald, I find it incredibly hard to believe that you actually learned how to code just to make a video game series for YouTube.
Oh, really? Keep your eyes peeled, bitch.
I stand corrected.
Damn it, Donald, you malignant orange tumor. We aren't even a minute into the video and you've already insulted me. Why is it so impossible for you to just relax and play the stupid game?
Firstly, I did no such thing. Clearly, Professor Bitch is the one responsible. Secondly, this game is not stupid. In fact, it is without question the greatest Pokemon game ever produced.
What the hell? Why is it calling me a creep just because I want to play as a girl?
Because, Creepy Joe, I knew that the only reason you would make such a decision was so you could sniff her hair.
Actually, most speedrunners use May instead of Brendan because it makes the dialogue go faster. It was probably just force of habit. Isn't that right, Joe? Joe?
As if Sleepy Joe here would be using speedrunning tactics. He can't even speedrun up a flight of stairs.
Anyway, I think the name Mr. Prez would be good, with a Z to show I'm hip with the kids.
Honestly, Joe, considering that non-response you just gave, I wouldn't want you and the kids to be associated in any way.
Et tu, Barack?
What the fuck was that gibberish, Joe? Did your dementia finally progress into stage 5?
Donald, that wasn't word salad. It was Latin.
Latin? I should have known you were one of those illegals. I ought to deport you.
He can't be serious, right?
I've learned to never underestimate Donald's unfathomable stupidity.
I swear, you liberal pansies can never take a joke. The mental disabilities of my Democratic compatriots aside, there are some things you should know before we continue.
All right, Donald, I'll admit that you at least figured out how to change some dialogue around. Please grace us with your incredible, substantive additions to the base game.
For the sake of your ego, I'm going to pretend that you weren't being sarcastic. Anyway, this game has Pokemon items and mechanics all the way up to Generation 8. I also completely revamped the trainer teams, tweaked the type chart around, modified some of the abilities and base stats of a couple Pokemon, made a few moves from scratch, and added in a couple new mechanics.
Wow, Don, that actually sounds pretty cool. If what you say is true, consider me impressed.
I will, thanks. Anyway, I was thinking that as a bit of audience interaction, I can actually add suggestions made by our viewers into the game. This includes who should take the place of gym leaders and other important characters, what encounters should be available, and even custom trainers with teams and names suggested by our subscribers.
That sounds like a lot of work, Don. Are you sure you're up to the task?
Are you kidding? I am the greatest president that this country has ever seen. Tweaking a children's game is nothing to me. However, since I am a busy man, the rate of upload for this series may be a little lower than some others due to the time I'd have to invest.
Honestly, Don, despite your juvenile need to make fun of me and Barack every chance you get, it is kind of cool to explore a Pokemon game made just for us. Good shit, man.
Considering your well-known, probably inappropriate love for children, I'll have to take that as a compliment.
Considering your flight history, I wouldn't talk about liking kids, Donald.
All right, gentlemen, let's end this conversation before one of you gets locked up for good.
I wouldn't speak so soon, Barrick. Maybe he enjoyed his time in jail. What do you say, Don? Do you want to go back to the big house?
The only house I'm going back to is the White House after I beat your sorry ass in 2024.
Gentlemen, let's not let this devolve into politics. We're here to take a break from all that, not dive right into it over some footage from a kid's game.
All right, how about this? Joe and I will sort this out on the way to the starter selection, and we can just cut it out of the video.
All right, fine, just do what you have to do.
And that's why there's more inflation under your administration than on Sonic Rule 34.
As much as I'd like to address that, we've made it to starter selection. How are we playing this?
Since this game is pretty hard even without Nuzlocke rules, I suggest we have 3 permanent members we can get attached to, and 3 free slots that each of us can slot our side Pokemon in.
Makes sense. Why don't you go ahead and explain the changed starters for Joe?
Now, fuck that, I gotta go for Fennekin. She's my favorite.
Fennekin is your favorite?
I don't like how he defaulted to she.
You guys are just haters.
Ooh, unlucky. Looks like you missed the role for a female.
The levels of pokey fucking happening in this call have officially passed the acceptable threshold. Don, why don't you tell us about those starter changes, even though Joe made the choice prematurely and with the wrong organ?
If you say so, Barack. Anyway, I gave the Piplup line the ability stamina, increased defensive stats, and earlier access to Steel Stab. I gave the Fennekin line serene grace and better coverage, And I gave the Snivy line its hidden ability Contrary, as well as a Dragon secondary type and level up access to Draco Meteor.
Damn, Don. Sounds like we got the lamest option. Still, plenty of opportunities for hacks and good coverage. Sounds like a pretty good consolation prize. Anyway, Joe, do you know what nickname you're going for?
I've got some ideas.
I think I know where this is going. Joe, as much as I love a good hear me out, you missed the role. That is a male.
Tisk, tisk, Don. Didn't anyone ever tell you? Sometimes it takes a real man to be best girl.
I am deeply, deeply uncomfortable.
I couldn't tell you why. There isn't a single thing in this game more monstrous than Michelle.
And there isn't a single character in this game faker than Melania's acetone-filled breasts.
All right, cool it, guys. Let's just get back to the game. I'm thinking we get to the next town today. Fennekin should be more than enough to sweep our way through.
I doubt that, but you can certainly try. Let's just cut to the first encounter, shall we?
Here we are. I'm kind of excited to see what the first encounter is going to be.
Wow, Don, really different from the base game.
Can it, Biden? There are plenty of new encounters on this route, but I wanted to still have a couple of native Pokemon sprinkled around, you know, to keep that Gen 3 feel.
We shouldn't be surprised. We all know how Don feels about immigrants.
We should be thankful that he let any foreign Pokemon in at all. Good job, Donald. We're all so proud of your progress.
Or maybe they only snuck in because he couldn't build a wall around all that water.
You guys are the worst.
Wait a second, was this area always there?
Nope. I added a location with a bunch of steel and poison Pokemon to help players beat the first gym. I think I may have overdid it with the difficulty a little bit, but it should be fine.
Yes, Weedle, the greatest Pokemon in the world. This should help us beat the Rock Gym with no difficulty.
Firstly, in this hack, the first gym is Fairy type, and due to the updated type chart, Bug is actually a 4 times Fairy resist. Secondly, Beedrill is not only buffed in this hack, but it's also one of the first megas you can get. Believe me, Beedrill is a beast in the early game.
Looks like that early game beast just got slashed to death by Joe's pet dog.
I'm quivering in my boots.
You demo clowns will rue the day you dismiss the goat, believe me.
Whatever you say, Don. Anyway, how much do you think we should grind before we fight May?
I'd say level 7 would be ideal, but honestly, you might be able to get away with 6 since it doesn't have any water moves yet. Trust me, though, you shouldn't underestimate stamina Piplup, even at level 5.
You've been hyping up this game's difficulty, but all I've seen are a couple Zigzagoon and a Weedle. Are you sure you aren't just bad?
You'll see, Sleepy Joe. You will see.
That was a bit needlessly ominous, but whatever, let's roll with it.
Jesus Christ, is it my dementia talking, or did we just teleport in and then teleport out? Is that part of the hack?
I have no idea what you're talking about, Joe. We just went in, healed up our Pokemon, and then walked out.
Christ, Joe, you really need to stay on top of your medication. I make jokes, but I worry sometimes, you know.
Yeah, I know. I guess, well, I had a meeting pretty early today, and I must have forgotten. That's, my bad.
Real mature on that sign text, Don. Anyway, don't worry about it, Joe. We just want you to survive long enough to finish the playthrough, at least.
And to make sure that spawn of Satan Harris never becomes president. I mean, you and I have our disagreements, but I'm pretty sure she's actually evil.
Finally, a new Pokemon.
Marini, huh? Reminds me of that one time Kamala tried to poison my chocolate chip.
Seriously, Joe, is everything okay in the Oval Office?
It's fine. I just had to buy myself a silver ice cream spoon. If it's black, put it back. If it shines, then it's fine.
Christ, what has the world come to? The leader of the free world has to resort to checking his meals for poison like a 17th century nobleman.
Who cares about that one? May is right there. God, I can smell her. What?
This is what I get for actually caring about Creepy Joe's well-being.
Anyway, the first real fight of the game is starting. Any advice, Don?
It might seem counterintuitive, but after the first hit, you're much better off using Ember instead of Scratch because of the stamina boosts. Plus, with Serene Grace, that burn chance isn't horrible. Fennekin probably has the worst matchup into the first rival fight out of the 3, so this might be tough.
And the very first hit was a critical. Did you buff the rates on that, or am I just unlucky?
Unlike the 2020 election, the crit rate in these fights is not rigged against the protagonist.
I hate to break it to you, Donald, but you are not the protagonist of life. Everyone is equally relevant to the grand cosmic narrative of the universe.
Except for all of those Yemeni children, right?
No comment.
Can we take a break from how awful you both are to appreciate how hard waifu is obliterating this Piplup? We're cooking this chicken, no rotisserie.
And that Serene Grace coming in clutch with the burn.
I'm anticipating our boy to take exactly 1 damage from Great Value Happy Feet.
And it looks like he's got the script. Makes sense. He did make the game.
All I did was tweak it a bit. That right there was pure Pokemon skill.
I can't tell if that was more or less arrogant. Regardless, I've easily beaten Don's supposedly difficult first fight.
I don't know, Biden. I feel like you're kind of jinxing yourself here.
Tell you what, Joe, let's make a bet. If you can get to the next town without wiping while fighting all of the trainers, I'll admit that you're better than me. However, if you do wipe, you have to admit that this Romhack is too difficult for you.
Deal. Let's cut to Professor Birch's lab so I can whoop you already.
I understand that you wanted to cut to here in the video, but it's not like making a cut actually makes time go faster, right?
Shut up. It would have been cool if you didn't break the fourth wall.
We're finally getting our Pokedex. It would have been a real nostalgia hit if you morons weren't bickering the whole way here.
Thus begins our journey to become Pokemon Masters.
Don't you think you guys are being a little melodramatic over an item we won't even really use? I'm more focused on grabbing May's balls.
I don't even want to address that. In fact, editor, please cut everything proceeding here out.
I think I'm traumatized for life.
Good God, I don't think I'll ever look at an ice cream cone the same way again.
Oh, come on. You guys are being melodramatic.
Joe, what happened today has no name. It was a horror that no man, woman, or child should ever have to experience. I am hitting up Elon right now to see if we can get some kind of neuralizer-type treatment so that I can sleep tonight.
Well, thinking about literally anything other than what just happened, it's nice to see Shinx in this route. Really makes you remember the changes to the game.
Ooh, actually, while we're on this route, can you catch that Weedle for me, Joe? It's going to be my first temp Pokemon.
If you really are as traumatized as you claim to be, then it's the least I can do. Speaking of which, can you send us an encounter list after the video so we can choose what Pokemon we want to add ourselves?
Sure thing, Joe. There are plenty of good ones out there, so I'm sure you and Obama can find a few you like.
Kablamo, and that's why they call me One Ball Biden.
You will never be Flygon HG.
So what do you want to name your bug, Donald?
I was thinking Beast, but spelled B-E-E-S-T. Trust me, boys, he will live up to that lofty reputation.
Jesus, Joe, your writing ability is even worse than Don's.
Shut up, Barack. I'm doing my best over here.
I know, that's the problem.
Joe, slander aside, for your information, Barack, I can read and write just fine.
Cub Fifi.
Border Patrol with an A?
Loose instead of lose.
Do I hear Joe talking? Maybe I should remind our viewers of the one word he used to describe America.
We can settle which one of you is more illiterate later. For now, since we're on a new route, we might as well check for encounters.
When you're right, Barack. This is one hot kitty.
No, vetoed, absolutely not.
I will have to agree with that sentiment. I cannot deal with more down bad Biden today.
Fine. You guys are no fun.
And just like that, one more bullet dodged.
All right, now that that's dealt with, it's time to take out Donald's first trainer.
Wouldn't be the first time you tried to take a child out.
One episode in and your jokes are already getting stale. Got to get some new material, big guy.
Trust me, this battle is going to be all the comedy I need.
Oh, no, not a youngster. I'm shaking in my boots.
I know you were being sarcastic, but you kind of oversold it. Genuinely thought you were frightened for a second there.
Oh, but Barack, how could I not be frightened at the sight of a level 6 Poochyena?
Damn, Don, are you really just going to sit there and take this?
Believe me, Sleepyhead here won't be nearly as quippy after the second Pokemon comes out.
Oh, Lord, he might send out a Wurmple or even a Zigzagoon.
Oh, you'll see.
You're really hyping this up, Don. This next Pokemon better be good.
There it is.
Shit.
We know. I'll never forget that one time we let you have too much ice cream during movie night.
You know that's not what I meant. Anyway, what the hell am I supposed to do? None of my Pokemon can deal with rock types.
You have no hope, Biden. It's already over.
Yeah, Joe, I'm not going to lie. Your position is pretty dire.
Why didn't you warn me that one of the trainers had a rock type?
Why would you need my help with such an easy game, Joe?
Damn it, Donald, you're so annoying. Whatever, it's not over till it's over.
It's looking pretty over, Joe.
Come on, come on, come on. Waifu! No!
Come on, Biden. Just admit defeat. It's over.
Maybe if you told me to catch an actually good Pokemon instead of this stupid Weedle, Waifu could have survived.
No Weedle slander shall be permitted in this household.
I don't know, Don. Your beast did just get folded like a lawn chair.
Damn it. Fine, Donald, I admit that you made this stupid game hard.
There, was that so difficult?
Save it for the jailhouse yard!
Well, since we blacked out, we're going to end today's episode here. Let us know if you have any suggestions, comments, or questions for us to answer in the next video.
President's out.